Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode here on the channel today. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we are taking on Homestead Miami Speedway, one of the best tracks here in the NASCAR circuit. We have some big official breaking news here today. Chase Elliott confirmed he is leaving Hendrick Motorsports at the conclusion of Season 6 as he ventures off and will start his own team called Chase Elliott Motorsports. This is going to be an interesting one because there will be still an alliance in place with his current team of Hendrick Motorsports, so they will be getting Hendrick engines and of course Hendrick info, meaning that team is probably going to fire out of the gate pretty competitive right off the bat. Now it is expected to be a two-car team come the start of Season 6, of course. One of those drivers guaranteed to be Chase Elliott. Now, of course, we expect Corey Day to be the replacement in that 9 car, but no official announcement, as Hendrick Motorsports did say that Corey Day is in the running, but they are at least still exploring their options for that 9 car, so there's still an opportunity that somebody else ends up in that. Now, who would you guys like to see in that number 9? I would love to know as we come through here in practice, putting some decent laps together, and I was pretty confident with how the car was leading us into qualifying. I mean, we got progressively, kind of all over the place here throughout these 5 laps of practice. Our first lap, though, overall was quicker than any of the other laps as we come through to focus in on qualifying. This paint scheme, absolutely fantastic. The black and purple combo, I love it, that Cachinero made as we take on now to qualifying into turn number 1, driving right down to the inside lane. This is where you want to be for the speed as we wash up though, and that's going to cost us some time immediately there as we go up to the outside wall though, and we had to lift quite a bit. So into 3 and 4 for the final time, right again back to the inside now, and the inside lane can go either way, and this time I hit the apron. So this overall, not a great lap for me, not expecting that great of a qualifying effort as we cross the stripe at 32.449. Here in qualifying, we go P14. Fortunately, we don't have to worry about any of that. We are, locked into the playoffs comfortably, and right now leading the regular season championship as Corey Heim goes pole position over Kyle Larson, my teammate of Zillish there. Bell, Blaney, all in the top 5. Speaking of Corey Day, he's having a great qualifying effort up there in P7, and you see the rest of the qualifying order. Josh Berry rounding out the top 30, the couple part-time cars in the mid-30s, and Chase Purdy rounding out the grid. I said I forgot to show the trucks and prime finishes from last episode, so we're going to double up here today and show both truck finishes, the one from last episode and the one from today. So truck series action, last episode it was Josh Williams that was able to actually pick up the win. As you see the rest of the order there, Myatt Snyder, Jake Garcia all towards the midfield, and all the way at the bottom there was Jack Wood. Now in today's episode it was Ben Rhodes actually picking up the win in Miami over Daniel Hemrick and Josh Williams. Josh Williams is having a great season. Luke Baldwin up there in P11 having a very respectable effort as well. Amazon Prime from last episode, of course, they were also in action and picking up the win on that side. It was actually Brandon Jones over Lane Riggs, Suarez, Allgaier, and Nemechek rounding out the top 5. Kyle Weatherman rounding out the top 10, top 20 would have been, it says Gary Owen, that's supposed to be, of course, Trayton Lapsevich now. But for today's episode here in Homestead, Miami, Justin Allgaier picks up the win over Nemechek, Herbst, Jones, and Suarez. Top 10 rounded out by Sam Mayer. And now you see the rest of the grid there rolling through for the finishing order. You see our hard rock bet paint scheme on the car. Cachinero whipped up a banger. I love the purple and black combination as we hit the track here from Miami now. Corey Heim out in front. Heim, one of the bubble drivers in the playoffs, but he is in the playoffs and he's looking for a strong day here today as he continues to chase win number 1. 23-11 as a whole continues to chase win number 1 of the season. Heim wants that first one of his career, and it looks like today could maybe be the best opportunity of any to make it happen. Eric Jones gave up his qualifying position for a new set of tires. Heim lines up beside Larson. Busher crashed during qualifying. He's going to have to work his way forward in that fast and all Ford Mustang for RFK. Obviously, when you come to Miami, one driver to watch out specifically for is that number 5 of Kyle Larson. Now, as we are ready to go racing, the green flag is out. We take on Homestead Miami. Now, Connor Zilish there in P3. Watch out for that number 88 Red Bull Cadillac here today as well. Zilish in the top 3 in the regular season standings. I mean, all of Junior Motorsports right now in the top 5. Hocevar as well, even though he's kind of not been on the same level as us or Zilish a lot, he is still having a very respectable top 5 season as we give a shot to the back of the 6 Miller Lite Ford Mustang there of Christian Eckes and Heim early out in front, and Zilish as well is going to get to the inside and pass Kyle Larson, and he's going to get all the way to the side-by-side of the 11 for the lead on the exit of turn 4 as we are already into the top 10 at the conclusion of lap 1. We've got 27 laps of racing here in stage 1, which means we cannot make it to the end of this stage, of course, on fuel, as Zilish is still up there fighting for the lead, and now he's actually going to take the lead briefly, but Heim's going to fight back with that momentum on the top. Speaking of running the top, that's what we do to get alongside William Byron and his Hendrick teammate of Rajah Caruth. There's Corey Day in the 32. Look at the 48 Overstock Cadillac powering forward on the inside right there. Once again, Caruth looking strong. He was so strong in Kansas alongside Kyle Larson, but of course none of them ended up winning that race. It was Christopher Bell that stole the win on the final restart on the final lap when I made that slide job move on the number 5 of Kyle Larson. Bell was the one that was really able to, of course, take advantage of all of that now as Ryan Blaney drops down to P7. A little bit of a lack of speed out of that 23 here as we head down into turn 1 on lap 4, now trying to rip the top again as the battle for the lead is heating up. You can see it from here. Kyle Larson's now to the inside of the number 11 of Corey Heim. So Kyle Larson looking for win number 3 on the season here today. We're in the final 10 races, of course, of the regular season. There's not a lot of racing left before we hit the playoffs, and it's going to be all about picking up those playoff points, stage wins, race wins, you name it. You want as many playoff points as you can get before we head into that playoff, of course, with the 12 races that we have there, as we're going to swing to the inside of the Valvoline 24 of William Byron into turn number 1. Of course, we come into today with the most playoff points of anybody at 20, looking to gain more, but it's going to be hard to make that happen here today in Homestead Miami. Usually we have a really good car, but we just never really have a good enough car to go up there and fight for the lead or win these races in Miami, but it's certainly not impossible for us to make it happen here as we clear the 24, and Kyle Larson is officially out in front by the time we come to lap 7. He has cleared that number 11 of Corey Heim, so we settle into P7 trying to run down that 48 here over the next few laps now. As you can see up ahead, Zilish in 3rd, looks like Chastain 4th, and it looks like caution's going to come out, and it's a tire failure. Of course it's on the 12 of Zane Smith, which means we just need the Ryan Priest 29 to have an issue, and then of course we complete everything. So we're going to stay out. Everybody stays out, and we'll get ready to go back racing here. Now, I was a bit surprised that everybody stayed out, but I just kind of stayed on strategy with everyone as the green flag is going to be back out, and that's going to put us at 18 laps to go here, or 17 laps to go in stage 1. We've now still got 14 laps of fuel, so we cannot make it to the end of the stage. And usually when yellow kind of comes around this time, it usually stays green to the end of a stage, so it's a bit, even more surprised that we all stayed out. But we're to the inside of the 48. A good little run down this back straightaway, right to the back bumper of that Cheez-It number 20 of Christopher Bell. Kyle Larson's going all the way up high. Now that's where we expect to see him running now as we roll through 3 and off of turn 4, clearing the 48 now to the back of the 45 of Ross Chastain. We'll get alongside him. He has a slow run down this front straightaway now and into turn number 1. You can see Larson running up the racetrack and the 88 of Connor Zilish to the inside now as we exit turn 2 down this back straightaway. Christopher Bell runs P4 as we'll clear this 45 for the 5th position now, and now I'm like, okay, where do I go? Top, bottom? I decided to go with the bottom. Zilish clear for the lead on Kyle Larson. Could we maybe find ourselves battling again with Connor Zilish today? He has clearly got a top 3 car. I think right now it's kind of a Larson, Heim, Zilish top 3 kind of running day as a caution comes out again. and it's for a tire down on my part-time teammate Justin Allgaier in that number 7 Brandt Cadillac, and we're going to see still some split strategy. We're going to pit all the top 10, and others are going to pit as well. Some are going to stay out because with this caution, surprisingly, it will actually allow the drivers to make it to the end of the stage. So they're going to be able to do 27 laps in stage 1 without pitting just because of the cautions and saving fuel. So we're going to restart, of course, in towards just barely inside the top 20 in P17. It's going to be 10 laps to go, but we now have a golden opportunity to take the stage win. Reason being, I know these guys in front of us, Larson, Heim, Zilish, they're going to struggle getting through traffic, unlike myself. We're going to be able to just rip right here in a few moments now as we roll through 1 off of turn 2. It's currently the 34 leading the way, and here we go. We're going to pull out to the inside. 3 wide down the back straightaway with Larson, 4 wide down the back straightaway. Zilish is hustling as well through the middle now as we head down into turn number 3. He's got the advantage. I'm planted behind the 51 of Justin Haley and that Rick Ware Ford Mustang, and now Zilish is going to take control alongside Bellenheim. We pull back at the line, and now as we head down this front straightaway, Zilish is absolutely flying, but as we head into turn 1, he's going to get caught up behind the Tricon. I believe that's the 55 of Taylor Gray. Now through the middle, there it goes, Christopher Bell. Following, it's going to be Corey Heim as we'll get past the 16 of Andres Perez, jump up to the outside. I'm like, okay, we got to join these guys up here, and now the 20 is getting caught up. Here comes Carson Hosevar. We're going to rip the top here in 3 and 4, and I think this is the opportunity to do exactly that. To the net lead here from Miami as we roll out of turn 4 around the outside of the 81 of Love and the 31 of Cruz. Now Carson Kawapa looking for stage points. It's all about top 30 for him. We'll clear him into turn number 1. We'll pass him for the 4th position. There's Corey Day. There's Ryan Priest. All these guys looking for points. They're all like 28, 29, 30th, 31st or so in the points. So we would pass them all. We would run down Eric Jones with 5 laps to go. Now, unfortunately for me, Corey Heim actually had been able to also get his way through traffic. So that is going to make things interesting because we know that 11's quicker than me. It's far from over, is what I'm trying to say there here in stage number 1 as we clear the 34, but it wasn't long until the 11 coming to 3 to go has now gotten to the inside and past the 34. Zilish as well is up there into the conversation as I catch the outside wall on the exit of turn 4, completely stunting the momentum. And as we came into turn 3, here comes Corey Heim. He's run me down. I'm going to rip the top because running the bottom was not working. It was bringing the 11 right to me, and now the thing that I've brought to me is the wall, into the outside wall, and Heim's gonna clear us. Here comes Zilish as well with 2 laps to go. He'll pass us into turn 1, and we're gonna have to end up settling for 3rd, it looks like here, as a self-inflicted error right there drops us down a few spots. Chastain's clear for 4th behind on the 34 of Jones. Down this back straightaway though, it's all the 11 of Corey Heim leading into turn 3. Connor Zilish P2, myself in 3rd as we get back to the inside, and clearly, I mean, I just overstepped there running the top, and we paid the price. Now it's Corey Heim down the front straightaway, winning stage 1 over Zilish, myself, Chastain. Larson gets up there into the conversation. The 34 actually pulled off the track coming into the pits at the very end of that lap right there. So Jones didn't quite make it, and he ends up outside of the top 10. We're going to make some adjustments with tire pressures. We're going to overall take 4 tires. We're going to take some fuel, and we're just going to hope for the best here for stage 2. But overall, I mean, the car not driving bad, but definitely need a little bit more help here now as we're going to be restarting now the front row. We overtake the 88 of Connor Zilish during the pit stop. Green flag is out. Stage 2 underway here from Miami. 26 laps of racing now, 1 less lap than stage 1. It's Zilish and Chastain behind, but Larson is well back up here in the conversation. Honestly, a lot of these guys got through traffic pretty well. A lot of the time, we see like a quick car get caught up in traffic, and then they don't really go anywhere. They get stuck, and then they fall back, and then, you know, other guys get away from them. But this time, we've seen all these front runners get through traffic. Larson, Heim, Zilish as well. So this is going to be interesting dynamic to see play out here in stage 2 as you see me ripping the top again, as now here comes Chastain. Ty Gibbs as well into the conversation as we're alongside that number 5 Valvoline Cadillac of Kyle Larson into turn number 1. He's going to get clear. He's almost going to slide up the track there in front of us, I thought for a second, but he's clear nonetheless, and now he's checking out here, as I do believe that 5 is probably the quickest car. I mean, Heim is right there with them. Zilish is pretty close as well, but I think overall it's the 5, and Kyle Larson, he's kind of reminding me, not of last season of course, but he's reminding me of a bit more of season number 4 the year where Christopher Bell won the championship and Kyle Larson in the kind of mid-season just completely lit on fire, and everywhere we went, he was the fastest car. There it is! Ryan Preece, outside wall, tire down. Oh my goodness, I said to complete the, day of bad luck, it would have to be him and Zane Smith, and that's, again, how many times are those two together going to crash out of these races? And now it's always tires, of course, as well, as we'll get ready from P4. Green flag is back out, and it's going to be lap 9 of 26 here in stage number 2. 18 laps to go as we head down into turn number 1, leaning a bit on that 5 of Kyle Larson here. Zilish, not a great restart now. He's going to get easily cleared, and Heim actually washes up in front of him, and now gets back to the inside and starts ripping here. As we head down this back straightaway, we're going to give some help to the back of that Red Bull 88, push him down the back straightaway now, clearing Ty Gibbs into turn 3. I'm going to jump back up to the outside here, try to get this momentum rolling off of 3 and 4. Right up against the outside wall. I actually had to lift, so that kind of stunted the momentum. I would have knocked down the wall if I didn't. So now Gibbs clears us, but we continue to rip. So the inside lane, I mean, overall is better, but on the outside, I can make it work a bit more on restarts as, well, yeah, I hit the wall again, but as well, later in a run, I feel like when the tires wear, the car gets a lot freer on the bottom, so I can rip the top just to kind of keep the car more stable. But obviously, I didn't really need the top right now, but I was just using it for the restart to kind of carry that momentum and hopefully pass some cars, but obviously, it didn't get me anywhere. It lost me positions. Chastain passed us. Logano passed us as well. Kyle Larson now out in front, and that number 5 of Corey Heim, so he's gotten himself back into the lead of this race, and we as well, I mean, if this stays green again, we are going to have to pit, but what we see, yeah, there's a caution. Okay, so it's Bubba Wallace with a tire down. That's 2 Andretti cars. Allmendinger's going to pit, but everyone else is going to stay out because it's exactly like stage 1. We can all make it to the end of the stage with a second caution, so now we don't even have to pit here in stage 2. That's really interesting how this has worked out so far. No one really taking much of a strategy gamble like stage 1 outside of AJ Allmendinger, as we have 12 laps of field, 11 laps to go. So yeah, we got ourselves in a good position here for the end of stage 2, and now it's just, I mean, it's a pure fight to the end of this stage. It's very well likely going to stay green from this point beyond, as we're to the back of that Busch Light 45, pulling at a line to the inside. Chastain looking good again. He was looking pretty good in Kansas as well. It seems like 2311 as a whole is starting to look better, but we've also had, look at all the Toyotas up here. We're seeing a lot more Toyota presence as of late. You got Bell, you've got Heim, of course, Gibbs, Blaney, Chastain, all kind of running on form, and all those names I just mentioned, only one of them has actually won. Now, of course, earlier in the season, the kind of lead Toyota was Jesse Love, and he's kind of faded in recent episodes, so definitely not sure, what's kind of gone on there with the 81, but still can't rule them out. I'm sure they will figure things out. Don't forget, still 2 wins on the season now, as to my inside goes a 48, and at this point I was starting to migrate up the track because I was hitting the point of the car getting really free running the inside line. So in the entry in the center of the corner, it wasn't a big deal, but when I was starting to exit the corner, the car was really starting to slip around, and once I ran this lane right here, jump up to the top, it settled the car down completely, so I was able to just kind of, manage it, but obviously it's not ideal, and I was struggling. I mean, there goes Chastain. We're down to P7. Christopher Bell is going to be looking for an overtake on me here probably in the next couple of laps, as Larson leads over Zilish and Heim, still coming into the final 6 laps of racing here in stage number 2. Now going for a move on the 54 of Gibbs, who seems to be fading a little bit late here in stage 2, but now as we roll the bottom, we know we're going to be a little bit more vulnerable down here as we wait patient on the exit, and actually the car grips up, so this is going to allow me to clear the 54, and that would put us in the 6th position as we come straight to the final lap here of stage number 2, and it's still Larson over Zilish. Heim's actually faded back there in 3rd, several car lengths back. Fuel light comes on, but we can all make it down this back straightaway for the final time, and what an interesting first 2 stages it's been with the cautions and the fuel situation, and you have to wonder if this is going to carry over into stage 3, or maybe we'll get some proper green flag running. Nonetheless, Kyle Larson, Connor Zilish 1-2. Zilish couldn't quite get the 5, who gets the playoff point there. Chase Elliott has finally worked his way into the top 10 as the caution flies for stage 2. Elliott had another rough qualifying effort again, fresh off the news that he is leaving Hendrick Motorsports now. But yeah, we're going to pit for tires, we're going to pit for fuel. The right rear was down to 34%. It was pretty worn out. But yeah, I mean, overall, I didn't really know what to do with the car at this point, and I just decided to keep the adjustments the way they were on what I did them last time. So stage 3 underway here. We're going to hit the green flag at lap 60. That's going to leave us with 34 laps to go. Rajah Caruth on my inside. The sun starting to set here in Miami now, as this track, outside of like the Coke 600, has some of the most abrupt lighting changes between stages, and I'm really hoping NASCAR 25 doesn't follow this same format, because it is the same dev company making the game. Of course, I'm hoping that we don't just have these abrupt lighting changes between stages, because it always throws you off so much. I mean, it's better than nothing, that is for sure, but yeah, it's not a good system. So you want it to happen more naturally, and of course it's 2025. We have the technology to very much do that. Of course, we had the technology to do it back in NASCAR Heat 5, and they just didn't. So Kyle Larson leads over Corey Heim here now. Larson on track to get his 3rd win of the season here today and match myself in this number 8 as we head down this back straightaway, passing our teammate of Connor Zilish to the inside of the 48. What a restart we've had. Back up into the top 5, into P4, looking for 3rd on the 48 Overstock Cadillac, but Caruth not making it easy as we roll into lap 62, turn 3, and he is staying right on my door as we roll through there, just trying to avoid contact, of course, make things difficult, and as we roll through 1 and 2, we clear them. So now into P3, can we run away and run down the top 2 of Larson and Corey Heim? Heim looking a lot better here in stage 3 than he did at the end of stage 2, because now he goes to the inside of Kyle Larson. Corey Heim looking to return to the lead of this race, as I'm still under immense pressure from Christopher Bell. Caution out, and it's the 81 of Jesse Love tire down. It's been like the exact same scenario all race long. We'll be staying out along with pretty well everyone else and getting ready to go green here again in stage number 3. Now we're row 2, P3 inside behind the leader of Corey Heim, who just got the lead before the caution came out. Green flag is waving once again here from Homestead Miami Speedway. Now it's going to be 27 laps to go. Didn't even make 10 laps before that caution came out. Chastain lines up behind us into turn number 1. That safe light number 11 looking strong, but is he going to be able to hang on to get that first career win now, as we're alongside 2nd place of Kyle Larson down this back straightaway here in towards turn 3. Look at the run from that number 5. He kind of powers back in front of us here into turn number 3, trying to keep this car planted on the inside. Can't quite do it. Chastain's gonna now pounce. We're 3 wide for P2 on the exit of turn number 4. Larson easily clear. Now it's just 2 wide for 3rd position. We used the draft from the 5 to try and get clear into turn 1 on Chastain. Couldn't quite make it happen. Well, now have to settle in behind that number 5 Valvoline machine as we continue on out of turn number 2. Chastain working his way forward late, but we know that 45 doesn't quite have a car capable of winning this race, so it's really between the 11 and the 5. Can we get these 2 guys? Zilish we know is strong, but he's dropped a few track spots as we roll through 3 off of turn 4. Can't quite make that outside rip there, and we're still on the top, not because I wanted to, but because that car is to my inside at this point. Caruth gets past us now for 4th. We drop back to P5. Zilish alongside Christopher Bell, who as well gets to my inside as we exit turn 2, but again carrying this momentum down the back straightaway. We are clear into turn number 3, but now is kind of committing to ripping this top at this point now and just seeing what we can make happen now is, yeah, again, I mean, it's just not been our day as I just keep over pushing the car, trying to maintain some track position. So eventually I give in. I'm like, okay, it's just, we got to commit to the inside lane, and we're going to get to the inside of the 20. We have a 4th to 5th place car today. We have to accept the fact that we're not going to really be able to just outright beat the 88, the 5, or the 11. They just have simply too much speed, and Kyle Larson has returned back to the lead as we clear the 20 of Bell, but in doing that we slide way up the track, sliding right there, and that allows Bell to actually go back up my inside, and again I catch the outside wall, just trying to stay in front of him as Chase Elliott runs me down. I mean, take a shot every time I've run into the wall today. I think you'll still be sober, but we're into P7, trying to now cover off this 9. Chase Elliott has had decent pace today, but not the most. He's just been kind of hovering just barely inside the top 10 since stage number 2 as we stay ahead of him here now. And now I'm like, okay, we got to make a gamble. We got to do something different. We've got 3 wins this season. we are leading the regular season championship by a lot of points. So let's do something different, and that's pitting with less than just under 20 laps to go because we're just in the fuel window. Let's force the hand of everybody else. We're going to take 4 tires and fuel and try to make up a bunch of time while we pit, and of course we just hope a caution doesn't come out. There's a car smoking. It's Chastain, outside wall. About 2 seconds after I go a lap down, caution's out. Now we are trapped 1 lap down. This is brilliant. Now that means, well, we are in the free pass position. But yeah, I mean, obviously not the situation. If that caution could have came out, you know, 3 seconds earlier, we would have been leading this race. Instead, we're now in the free pass, and we're starting from the back of the field for 15 laps of racing. This is not going to be easy to work our way back forward. Likely going to see a caution before this is over, so that could kind of help us out here as we're going to go down into turn 1 behind that Sirius XM15 Tricon Toyota of Gio Ruggiero. AJ Omendinger in that Honda Civic there for Colleague Racing. We're going to roll around the outside of all these guys right to the back of Andres Perez. Give him a little shot to the back bumper. Try to help him go a little bit quicker now as we head into turn number 3. Kyle Larson's leading as actually Perez goes for a slide. Into turn 3, Connor Zilish to the lead of this race. Now the question is, can he hold on to the lead of this race now to the outside of Chandler Smith? Into the top 30 is actually give a shot to the back of Sanchez. Not what I wanted to do there, but fortunately he's not actually going to slide, and I hit him way harder than I hit Perez, and he's the one that doesn't slide. Weird how that works. Tyler Reddick's been running actually back here all race long. He's been kind of matching his Trackhouse teammates for the first time this season, and not in a good way, so that's not going to benefit him in the playoff situation. Carson Kvapil, who still needs to be in the top 30 in the standings, running in a decent top 25 or so position here today as I made an aggressive 3-wide move to the top right there, and we continue to roll past traffic. And now passing Chris Buescher. He's not had a great day after starting in the back, of course crashing during qualifying. We move into the top 20. Zilish continues to lead this race now, coming up towards the final 10 laps of racing. We passed the 43 of Gregson, we would pass the 98 as well as the 60 of Barry and Briscoe to the outside of Bubba Wallace. New leader Kyle Larson back out in front looking for that 3rd win. Alex Bowman 14th. He's had a pretty subpar day following his Michigan win. Hasn't quite had the speed. He's kind of, you know, been subpar all season, and then showed up in Michigan and made it happen and made sure he's in the playoffs, of course, now as we hit 10 laps to go for the number 5 Valvoline Cadillac of Kyle Larson. We move up into P14. I don't think we're going to get much further than this. I mean, look at the gap to 13th that we have to make up. I mean, we might get there, but it's not going to be easy. And it's actually Austin Hill having a great run here for Richard Childress Racing now behind Ryan Blaney. And, well, there's a caution. That's what we needed. It was Sanchez with a tire down. Cautions out with 9 laps to go. Of course, everybody can make it. We're not going to pit. It's a straight up scrap to win this race for Kyle Larson, Connor Zilish, and Corey Heim. Or could someone else get up there and surprise everybody? Green flag is out. It's going to be just over 5 laps of racing to go here from Homestead, Miami. 6 laps remain to be exact. Blaney, Byron there side by side in front of us. Can we pounce on these two? Hopefully down the back straightaway. And up ahead I can see as well, I believe that was the 20 that kind of got all up out of shape, and I had a bit of a moment behind the 23. Now contact with the 18. That was pretty well the first half of that lap was horrible. That was about as worst possible scenario right there for a restart. So we made up no ground as we head into turn 3. Larson's clear over Corey Heim as we try to rip this top on the exit of 4 to carry this momentum now. William Byron, pretty decent day overall. He's another driver in the top 5 in the standings. He's the only driver in the top 5 in the points that has not won a race, however, as we enter the top 10, passing my teammate of Carson Hocevar. Here's Chase Elliott for the 9th position, and there's Joey Logano having a respectable run. How about Eric Jones up here in the top 10, coming to 3 laps to go? It's still Larson and Heim. 1, 2, Zilish in 3rd, and Heim is starting to search around. You can see up there he goes all the way to the outside. Kyle Larson has him now, forcing him to make some moves elsewhere to find some grip, find some momentum, because outside of that, Kyle Larson has the number 11 of Corey Heim covered. As we go 3 wide through the middle, we'll pass Logano. P7 we move into, and Kyle Larson is in perfect shape here to match me on the win count, and if he wins this race, he would actually be at 21 playoff points, which would best my 20 2 laps to go. Heim still searching. Now he gives in. He jumps back down to the inside to cover over Connor Zilish, and Kyle Larson has a good 4 to 5 car length gap on the field as we exit turn 4. White flag in the air, side by side between Gibbs and Bell there in front of us. The Joe Gibbs duo right now, as I would love to pass one of these guys, just get one more spot here. Would never really rebounded to where we were running. We should have been top 5, but look at the momentum we have on the outside. Hold on, we might get the 20, maybe even the 54 as we head down this back straightaway. We're gonna have a pretty large run on this final lap to the back. We're gonna try and rip the top and just roll the momentum because it's working now through 3 and 4 for the final time. Bell decides to cover me off, and that's gonna stall the momentum. Kyle Larson off turn 4 wins for the 3rd time this season in Miami, and we just barely do not beat the 20 to the line as the rest of the field crosses the line. P7 for us and Hocevar just outside the top 10. As you see inside the top 20, great race for Corey Day. Carson Kvapel, a good race in 25th. That will help his point situation out quite significantly. Chastain, of course, out of the race. That's huge in the bubble situation as Kyle Larson is starting to reel us in this regular season battle. This is far, very far from over, honestly. And look at the playoff grid. Chase Elliott, he's back into the conversation here. He's 4 points out behind Ross the Boss Chastain. We look at, of course, the Carson Kvapel situation there, and I mean, yeah, this is going to be really tight going into these final handful of races now. We take on race 18 at Watkins Glen. Next episode, another road course, a good opportunity for Chase Elliott to gain some serious points. I'll see you guys then. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.